Hello, it is Sunday, January 21st, 2024. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving a big, jumbo-themed grid with a title, Funny Business. I don't know what that means yet. Maybe puns around jobs, something like that? I bet it'll be something like that, but who knows? And this punny, potentially themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Kathleen Quinn, Quartidiophile, Overfull Hitbox, and as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the four of them. They're benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, which means they support this channel. They bring us this series every day. I'm very grateful to them for that support. So if you would like to help out the channel in that same way, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field. There you'll find the bonus videos available to patrons as well as for benefactors, the official Let's Check the Crosses Daily Solve mug. Those things are available, and thank you so much if you do support the channel in that way. I really do appreciate it. Thanks as well if you support the channel by subscribing on YouTube. That is also a big help. You can also, of course, and should, if you desire, comment on the videos, like the videos. Those things are a big help. And finally, there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which you can join via a description field link. It's a nice friendly chat community over there, so do check it out. And with that all said, let's get on to today's crossword entitled Funny Business. It is a construction by John Westwig, who's constructed, I think, around 10 puzzles for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. So let's start solving, see how we do today with this entitled crossword. All right, to begin to flower, to bud. If a flower begins to flower, it buds. And let's now look at the crosses from that. Leave me alone. Be something, I don't know. Heaven on earth. A utopia would be a heaven on earth, an idealized perfect place. To pick up on would be to detect something, maybe. And Pikes Peak people. Right, okay. This must be the Ute people. I've never been to Pikes Peak, but it must be within their traditional land. Okay, first I founded an aerospace startup, but I never got something. Okay, so it feels like we're going to continue on from this phrase in presumably a punny sort of way, hence funny business. Let's see. First I founded an airplane. Oh, but I never got off the ground. Never got it off the ground? But I never got it off the ground. There we go. Okay, so yeah, pretty much what I expected. Puns around jobs. So there we go. And of course, to get something off the ground is a standard sort of English language idiom. So that hence the joke. One down. Leave me alone. Oh, bug off. That means leave me alone. Okay, and then to make the first bet would be to open. In, I don't know, a game of poker or something. Traditional makers of anoraks, the Inuit. So these are, thick sort of fur-lined jackets for the cold, which has gone on to be the namesake, or not so much the namesake, but it's gone on to be the etymology of a, I don't really think you hear this in the US, but here in the UK, an anorak is also used to refer to sort of a dweeb. I guess because they're trains. I think because train spotters, people who stand around watching trains, are often associated with anoraks as an article of clothing. Okay, popular indoor tree is a ficus. There we go. To break as a window would be to shatter, maybe? Yeah, that looks like it could be. Although this doesn't look great. Daughter of Muhammad, Fatima. Maybe this isn't shatter. But smash up, maybe? Break as a window, smash up a window? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the up bit, but I'm just trying to think if there are any other endings that could work here. Smash in? Yeah, I'll leave it for now. Sensitivity could be tact. If you have a social sensitivity, a tact, you're careful about what you say. To bow to someone or something would be to accede to it. So does that work? Accede to... I mean, yeah, in the sense of kind of bowing to one's authority. Yeah, I think it fits in that kind of usage. All right, I think that's probably the answer. So if you accept somebody else's authority, you bow to it, you accede to it. I think that's probably right. J.M. Barrie, for one, a Scot. I think J.M. Barrie's an author. Is it Peter Pan? I think J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan. Anyway, a Scot, so from Scotland. Hubbub could be a whole to-do, and listlessness is torpidity or torpor. Oh, torpor, right. That's probably it. Is that what I think it is? Torpor, listlessness of sort of, being a bit just downbeat and unenthusiastic. I'm just trying to think if there are any other possibilities that I think fit. I can't think of any offhand, so maybe let's try the crosses. Place of prayer, a pew in a church. And broski. Does this mean it's sort of just like your friend, your bro, your pal? Or is it a name maybe? Broski? I'm not actually sure what this is looking for. So what about this? 1972 Bill Withers hit whose title sounds like a command. Well, I might know it when I see it, but I can't think right off the top of my head. And what about this W? Football receiver, a wide end? Is that one of those? I don't think I've heard of a wide end, but I've heard of a tight end, and I've heard of a wide receiver. So if I kind of put those together, maybe a wide end is a position? I don't know. Let's look at this. Poetic preposition. Okay, this I'm fairly confident is air. So the preposition before, but in poetic language, gets contracted to air frequently. Okay, freight, e.g. Well, it could be freight as in cargo. It could be freight as in to freight with meaning. Something is freighted with meaning. It's ominous. Freight. Can't think of any other. I'm sure there are other senses, but I'm not quite sure what we're looking for just yet. Zach of Baywatch. Was there a Baywatch with Zac Efron, maybe? I'm just trying to think of a Zach, Z-A-C. I saw, I hope I'm not confusing who this was. I think I saw maybe the first thing I've seen with Zac Efron in it. Was that who it was? I saw this film, The Iron Claw, which was a kind of dramatization of a real life wrestling family, the Von Erichs, and I thought it was a great movie. And I think Zac Efron was the lead, or one of the leads. Anyway, broski. Passages, corridors. There we go. Oops. 1972 Bill Withers hit whose title sounds like a command. Oh, use me. Yeah, okay. So broski is homie. So it was broski in the sense of bro, pal, friend, but a sort of modern casual version of that. And then to follow closely is to haunt somebody. Maybe you haunt them, you follow them closely. I'm not sure this is right. This U is a bit odd. Section of the nosebleed seats. Okay, I think this probably isn't right. In 7 letters, I'm thinking this is the gods, which is a name for the nosebleed seats in a theater, in a dramatic theater setting, or musical theater, I suppose. And I don't think I've ever seen it referenced in the New York Times. I have seen it a few times in British cryptic crosswords as a component of wordplay. But I don't think I've ever seen it in the New York Times. So let's see if it actually is correct. Portmanteau pastry. Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, never mind. After all that explanation. Anyway, I guess I might as well finish the explanation. Reason it's called that is because, the gods would be, in theory, if you're sort of playing to the gods, you're playing up to the heavens, and that's where those, that's in the direction of the nosebleed seats. Anyway, portmanteau pastry, I think this is cronut for croissant and donut, which this was a huge sort of fad pastry a number of years ago, I think with its epicenter in New York. But so maybe that's not what this is then. Maybe this isn't the gods. Library section, I don't know. What about this? New Year's Day. Jan 1? Or maybe 1-1. As if you were writing it numerically. I'm not actually sure about that. Disney theme park. Epcot, right, okay, I've never been to Walt Disney World in Florida. Actually, nor have I been to Florida, but I do know that Epcot is one of the theme parks in it. Okay, which originally, and I think no longer, but did originally stand for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. All right, anyway, to go back down, as in the tide, for instance, the tide ebbs. And then Yankees manager Aaron, ooh, no idea about this one. This looks like psyched out. Next, I pivoted into breakfast restaurants, but competitors, oh no, poached our business. There we go, as in poached eggs. I had to think of the third possibility that could fit in that first word, but I think that's probably right. Poached our, oh no, customers? Poached our customers? There we go. There we go. All right. So poached, obviously, again, here doing double duty. So poached, referencing poached eggs, but also poaching as in sort of capturing. Okay, Yankees manager Aaron Boone, I guess this must be. And then library section teen fiction must be. Here we have the absolute minimum required is the bare, not sure. When I tried candle making, all my workers sort of melted under pressure or something like that. It doesn't look right. When I tried candle making, all my workers, something about fuses. I don't know. Can't think what this is. Bare, absolute minimum required. I don't know. Okay, identity theft for one. Fraud. It's an example of a crime of fraud. Snow Day project. Not sure. Follow closely. Right. So I think it's. Why did I rule out haunt? I can't remember. Oh, because this wasn't the gods. Oh, no. It's because I thought it was the gods. But I don't think that anymore. So maybe section of the nosebleed seats. I don't know. What about this one? Counterpart of science, they say. Okay, well, it's still not haunt because art. Counterpart of science could be art. Follow closely. Okay, well, my next thought was hound, which also doesn't work. To follow closely, to... If you do follow something closely, you could say you're hip to it, and that would fit, but it's not the right part of speech. We need a verb. Hew to. If you follow the directions closely, you hew to them. There we go. Okay, section of the nosebleed seats. Something row, maybe? Snow Day project. Still don't know. When I tried candle making, all my workers suffered from... That must be it. Suffered from candle making. Something about light or darkness or heat or something. I don't know. Can't think. The other ones I really jumped right to, but I can't think this one. Snow Day project, a fort, a snow fort. There we go. Okay, and bit of carefree fun, a lark. Maybe you did it on a lark, a bit of carefree fun, or... Oh, last row, section of the nosebleed seats. There we go. That could be it. And then a whiz is an ace, someone who's very expert at something. Trendy treat of Brazilian origin. Acai. Acai is certainly trendy. It's trendy, I mean, possibly most of all within the grids of the New York Times crossword. What do we think this is? Acai smoothie or I don't know. It is the official superfood berry of the New York Times crossword. I did neglect to mention that. I'm remiss. Anyway, I decided to try operating an airport, but just before launch, we ran out of energy? No. We ran out of... airport. Just before launch, we ran out of... Oh, I don't know. I'm not doing well with these anymore. Freight, e.g. Wide end. This might be wrong. I don't know what that actually is. Wide. Just seemed like it would be, but I don't know. Ran out of... I don't know. Okay, I'll come back to it. Oh, the bare essentials. Absolute minimum required. Bare essentials. That's right. And then wrote as a bad check. Kited? Is that a term for writing a bad check? I'm not actually sure, but looks like it maybe is. And then it's funny that these point to each other. Why? I mean, I realize they're about a similar topic, but so what? Often you have clues about a similar topic and they don't highlight each other. Not quite sure I understand what's going on there. Okay, well, anyway. Reference work that began as a Philological Society project, the OED, the Oxford English Dictionary. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but the construction of the Oxford English Dictionary is incredibly fascinating. It was sort of this word didn't exist, of course, at the time, but these days you would almost say it was crowdsourced. It was farmed out to a huge body of workers, some from academia, but some sort of interested members of the public. It was incredibly interesting. They compiled this absolutely massive reference work collaboratively. Bridge component, a bridge as in the card game, not as in the architectural construction. Right, so what is this? Acai, I still don't know. Creature that swallows its prey whole. And wise one, a wise owl. People often say owls look very wise, which they do. I don't think they are particularly, but they do look that way. Oh, acai bowl, as in, it's probably some sort of I don't know what would be in it. Is it a fruit bowl or is it maybe a protein thing? I don't actually know what this would be. Granola, maybe? I bet it has granola. Anyway, there we go. Creature that swallows its prey whole. A boa constrictor, right, famously, yes. The snake. And then catchy song in slang is a bop. There we go. And then counterpart of part of thanks would be please. And of course, each of these is contracted with its vowels removed. Well, and thanks vowels also transmogrified from a KS to an X. All right, so there we go. Great. Let's keep going. Let's go back up to the top. We haven't even looked at these downs. We've only been solving sort of half the grid bisected diagonally. So state lines, question mark, state lines, to act, right? To state your lines, to say your lines aloud in a theater. Maybe you're playing to the gods, but or in this case, the last row. Hammer wielder of myth, that must be Thor, the Norse god. The misses could be wife. What about this? Total revolution. Total revolution. A turn, maybe this isn't. Oh no, maybe it is, because in conflict would be at war. And then one dish meal is chili, maybe, sort of everything in one big pot. And then served on a single dish. The missus, it's got to be wife something. And then blank butts, inventor of Scrabble. Alfred, I guess? I don't know. I mean, that's what it looks like it would be. To go back over would be to reread something. And CVS competitor, this is a U.S. Pharmacy chain, so Rite Aid. Is it ADE or AID? I think it's AID. In commercial spellings, you never know. Okay, like kale vis-a-vis lettuce. It's hardier, maybe? I mean, kale is certainly much thicker than at least most lettuces I know. So it's a sort of hardy vegetable. And then, a total revolution, of the earth around the sun, a year. Wifey. Oh, okay, the missus wifey. I see. So the missus is kind of a casual way to refer to a spouse. And then so is wifey. Okay, well, there we go. All right, if you're thunderstruck, you're awed, you're in amazement. And a basketball stats category, assists, maybe? There we go. That at least is something I can conjure up in my mind. To slump would be to sag, either literally or metaphorically in data or something. Big name in jeans, Strauss. Levi Strauss jeans. And then quintessential is iconic, maybe? An iconic kind of figure of a particular field of art or something. Turn off could be to shut off, and the parenthetical off there means we're going to apply that word to both the clue and the answer. So turn off, but also shut off gets that applied. Spam holders are tins, so tins of spam, the canned meat. And health class subject, an STD, a sexually transmitted disease, would be a subject of health class. And then you're playing with fire, you could warn someone, watch it. All right, neckwear provided at some restaurants. A bib maybe could be provided. It's been a while since I've seen that, but there you go. Sloan or Wharton. Either one of those is a business school, I believe. And because this is an or clue, we're only referring to either Sloan or Wharton, so a single business school, not plural, which you might initially suspect because there are two examples. Okay, game night cry. My first thought would have been I win or I lose or something, but obviously neither of those fits. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm looking at that was strange. I was looking over here, but what I should have been looking at is this. Game night cry. Okay, it is only 3 letters, so maybe it's Uno. Maybe you're playing Uno, the card game. And now let's look at the one I was actually selecting, which is opposite of relief in printmaking. So relief, sort of textural element in print. So the opposite would be what? An inscription or etching or I don't know. Blank wonder, boy wonder is certainly a phrase that exists. And then messy room is a sty, as in referencing a pigsty in comparison to a pigsty. Opposite of relief in printmaking. I don't know. Bourne's employer in the Bourne Identity in brief. Must have been the CIA. That sounds like it would have been in those films. I mean, I have seen a couple of them. Call of a raven, a caw. Ravens make a caw sound. And then a singer's asset as their range, or one of their assets is their range. There we go. Not again, to retie something. There we go. And I think in this case, the exclamation point is essentially serving the same purpose as the question mark. It's basically just saying this is a bit punny. So you redo a not, you retie. And I think the reason they've chosen an exclamation point rather than a question mark is because you can imagine this one as a command. You're exclaiming to somebody, do it again, retie, not again. I think that's all that's going on there. When that fell through, I tried. Oh, right, here's one of these. When that fell through, I tried my hand at fishmongering, but we did didn't score well. Why? What does that mean? What does score have to do with fish? Scoring fish as in with a knife? I'm not. I don't know if that's right. I mean, it fits in the space, but I can't tell if I'm confident in it. So what about this? Opposite of relief, intaglio? That's something. Is that what that's called in printmaking? What about this? Pop singer with noted bangs and bangers. Sia, maybe? It's one of those names I have to be honest, I only know because of the crossword. So I don't know if she has bangs. I assume she does have bangers. Let's see, what about this? Pizzazz, elan. So this is a word to pizzazz or elan or eclat or panache. I guess all of which are French. Style, sort of grand style. Betrays, spies on, or something like that. Harry Potter's mother. Oh, this I do not know. What's a woman's name that ends with an M? Annoyingly, I can't think of any, which is preposterous. There must be a number. If it starts with an R, I don't think this is. Oh, didn't scale well. It's not score well, it's scale well, which is the same idea in the sort of idiomatic sense of didn't, scale well on a test or something, but in the case of fish, you would remove their scales, you would descale them. Is that what we're looking for? Harry Potter's mouth. I still don't see any examples here. I don't know. Maybe that's not right. So what about this one? Regarding. As for that topic, regarding it, didn't scay. I don't know. Squat, so to speak, would be to sit down. Betrays is finks on, or I don't know. I can't think what would fit here. This little chunk of the grid is really not treating me well. Ardennes ascent. So this is simply referring to a place in France. And that means the answer will be in French. So oui in French is yes. There we have it. Aid in getting a leg up. Not sure. What about this? Common resolutions. Diets, as in New Year's resolutions. Resolve to go on a diet. Desert bordering Sinai. Desert bordering Sinai. The Negev. Oh, so is this wrong? I'm really surprised by that. Well, that explains why. One of the reasons I was having trouble over here, though, at least. Okay, let's get the low-hanging fruit. So there, that goes in there. What Ralph represents in a Freudian analysis of Lord of the Flies. Oh, okay. I mean, I must be the ego. That's part of the Freudian analytical framework. And I did read Lord of the Flies when I was young, but I don't remember even which character he is. But there we go. Okay, so aid in getting a leg up. Auto. Oh, an ottoman. An ottoman. Right, the item of furniture. There we go, on which you might rest your legs. There we go. So, okay, so I pivoted into breakfast restaurants, but competitors poached our... what is the... Oh, employees. Ah, there we go. Okay, that makes more sense than customers. Because you poach an employee, you kind of lure them away to work for you. Whereas customers, I mean, obviously businesses are always trying to attract each other's customers. That's kind of more of a normal thing. It feels less underhanded. Okay, so allegory of the cave philosopher, that's Plato, who wrote about, just seeing the kind of shadows on the wall from inside the cave as opposed to the thing unto itself. And then metal earning metal could be valor. So if you've demonstrated valor in battle, you might earn a medal to recognize that. Okay, so betrays. I still don't see what that is, but didn't scale well. I think this is right. Oh, didn't scale well a business, didn't scale up your business. I see. Okay. And then, yes, it does deal with descaling fish. Okay. Or scaling fish, I guess you could say. So Harry Potter's mother must be Lily, I suppose? Or Livy? I don't know. I don't think that would be right. Lily. Betrays. I just can't think what this is. I'm going to leave this out for now just to remind me that I'm not confident about this. Soul. And then here we have purchase printout abbreviation. Purchase printout abbreviation. An invoice or a receipt or something, or not sure. Sat-nav is a GPS system, so satellite navigation for a global positioning system. And then 1956 Elvis hit whose title sounds like a command. Oh, another one of those commands. Is it Love Me? It sounds like it could very well be the name of an Elvis song. There are 768 of these in a gallon. Must be teaspoons. There we go. Not a very useful measurement, but now you know. When I tried candle making, all my workers, this is the bit we've had for ages. Lead into zone. Eurozone, maybe, the block of countries that use the single currency in the euro currency. And then to share a side is to abut. If two things abut one another, they share a side. They are kind of aligned in that regard. Yiddish word meaning woe. I'll probably recognize it when I see it, but I'm not sure offhand. Okay, eradicates starting from the bottom. Eradicates starting from the bottom. Uproots. Yeah, okay, there you go. If you uproot a tree, you do it from the bottom rather than sort of, cutting it down higher up. Behind. Right. This could mean behind in the sense of being on the reverse end of something, but it could also mean you're behind. In other words, your rear end, which is what I think, because it looks like it could be tushy or something like that. Maybe these are different, but something like that. Centerfold, say. So centerfold, sort of the part of a bound book or magazine that is the bit directly in the middle. Is that what that's referring to? Centerfold, say. That's the only meaning of that I know, but there might be other meanings of centerfold. What else would be folded? Anyway, bits of trouble. I'm just trying to think. It's like one of the folios maybe of the book, but no, that doesn't fit. Bits of troubleshooting are issues, but that's too long. Purchase printout, right, okay. So if it is receipt, this would be an R. So soul, a person, not a single soul, not a single person. There we go. Flips, flips on, yes, okay. If the cops sort of flip you, so you flip on your compatriots and then you snitch on them. That's what that is. So then this could maybe be receipt. I think RCPT is an abbreviation of receipt. And then, pinup, like from a magazine that might have a pinup centerfold double-sized photograph that you'd put on your wall. That's what that is. Okay. And so I was right about pinup. I just needed something more specific. And then behind, it is tushy. Bits of troubleshooting are, test. You perform a test to troubleshoot something. There we go. Here we have some music collectibles for short LPs, long playing records, vinyl records. And then, our workers suffered from burnout. Okay, I wasn't anywhere close to getting that, but that's what happened to the candle makers. Great. Okay, Yiddish word meaning woe. Oh, is it Suris with an IS at the end? I've seen that word. It wasn't as familiar as I thought it was going to be before I had a guess, but let's see. Uncles in Uruguay. Tios, that's uncles in Spanish. There we go. And then goes first, starts. Okay, yeah, this is right. I don't even actually know that I have ever used this word myself. I thought it was going to be a much more common word. And maybe it is to some people, but I only know it vaguely. But there we go. All right, Bacchanalian beast satyr. So this is the goat man figure in Greek mythology, and they're associated with, lasciviousness and indulgence. And so at a Bacchanalian, big indulgent kind of party or feast, Bacchanalia, maybe they're present. Okay, to betray one's standards would be to, not sure, cub or colt? A young creature of some sort, a rear, I don't know. Holy blank, holy Toledo is a kind of light oath that you might cry if you're a particular sort of person, I suppose. And then perfect in every way is stellar or betray one's standards. To stoop, to stoop to a new low could be to betray your standards. That could be it. I mean, you wouldn't just say stoop. You wouldn't say that person is betraying their standards. They're stooping. I don't think you would just say that. So I'm not 100% confident about this, but it could be the answer. Exclamation before an ill-advised action, maybe. YOLO, you only live once, you might yell before doing something incredibly ill-advised. Cub or colt? I'm still not sure about that. Here we have perfect in every way. Spore. Perfect in every way. I don't know. Oh, and here's one of these. Finally, I decided to buy a grocery store on an intersection, but a rival had on an intersection. Something about crossing, or rival had double-crossed us, or something. I don't know. Not sure. Don't have a good idea about that. Union contract. I do. So, your vow in a wedding ceremony in which you're sort of joining a union. So, cub or colt, still don't know that. Over time period. I'm trying to think of how to read this that's going to unlock it for me. I'm wondering if it means a time period that's already over, that's complete, but I'm not sure. And perfect in every way. Spot on. There we go. That's what it is. I just needed that other O. Oh, Toledo I misspelled. Sorry. So this is an eon. And I only even noticed my Toledo misspelling because I was thinking, well, a time period in the past could be an eon. And that clued me into my typo. There we go. So what is this? Roofie? Well, I don't understand what that has to do with anything. Roomy, cub, or colt? Huh, I don't see it. Sorry. Okay, what can we do to finish off this puzzle? Freight, e.g., I decided to try opening an airport, but just before launch, we ran out of Runway. We ran out of runway. Oh, that was so obvious. Oh, sorry. Okay, so yes, that is a thing you could say about a business to mean we ran out of sort of available funds to keep the business running. We ran out of runway. And then obviously an airport has runways. Okay, there we go. So this is not a wide end. It's a wide, I have no idea what it is. A 380-foot tall Hyperion for one. A tower? What is it? Not sure about that either. Swiss cheese. Emmental or what other? Raclette or maybe that's French. Swiss cheese. I don't know. Okay, we'll keep going. Man cave, maybe. A basement or something? I'm not sure what this is looking for. Oh, Swiss cheese in quotation marks. Yeah, that's funny. We have two Swiss cheeses, but this one is Swiss cheese in a punny sort of way. That's interesting. I wonder what that's getting at. Don't know. Moose's mating season. Is that rut? When animals mate, they rut? I mean, that is a phrase. The thing I don't know is whether that's what you call the season. But it must be. Wide out, maybe? Football receiver, wide out? I don't know if that's right. Freight, e.g. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not doing well in the ending here. Swiss cheese and Swiss cheese in quotation marks. Oh, fromage? Maybe this isn't rut. Maybe this one is Swiss cheese because French is spoken in Switzerland. Moose's mating season. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure about this either. Freight, e.g. I don't know. I'm just completely falling apart. We'll need more. We'll need new clues. What you gonna do about it? Yeah, and or yes, and I don't know. Cub or colt, right? We saw that. Extract or extract could be a verb or a noun. Tiniest bit, an iota is the tiniest bit. We'll see. I may. I don't know if fromage is right. Or this. Or that. Tiniest bit. The problem is tiniest bit could probably be something else as well. So what do I think with this? We'll see. I may. I'm going to just try that because I don't have any other ideas. Here we have maybe it is. Talking Horse of 60s TV is Mr. Ed, who's the subject of a show of, I think, the same name. Corrupting influence is a bad crowd or a bad seed, maybe, is sometimes a phrase used to refer to, someone who influences others in a bad way. Thing to catch in a city. You could catch a cab. And finally, I decided to buy a grocery store in an intersection, but arrived cornered the market. Should have thought of that immediately. Cornered the market. There we go. That's what we wanted. That'll help. So this was cub or colt is a rookie. So it's being used metaphorically here to refer to a person who's new to something. And then Swiss cheese. Oh, is it francs? As in Swiss francs, so cheese being used as slang for money here. I think that's what's going on. I was not on the right track with that at all. Enjoyed some humble pie is 8 crow. There we go. So you have to acknowledge a mistake you made. After rhyme of nude and crude is lewd. So lewd, nude, and crude you might be. Okay, Swiss cheese. Oh, Gruyere. That's a Swiss cheese. There we go. Okay, and then it is rut maybe after all. Okay, and then maybe this is wide out. So then freight is goods. The things that you ship are the freight, the goods, of course. And a redwood is right. Okay, this must be the name of a particular redwood tree, the 380-foot tall Hyperion. I wonder where that is. I've been to John Muir Forest in Northern California, and I don't know if that's where this is. Okay, universal donors designation informally. O negative maybe. I don't remember, but let's try it and see. Man cave maybe is... I don't know. What you gonna do about it? Yeah. Something? Extract guess or... Not sure. Send off to emit maybe a signal. Send it off. Blank second. Any second. There we go. Full... I don't know that either. Bolting bolt. Usain Bolt. There we go. There's someone at least I know. And man cave maybe a sanctum. Oh, right. Okay, your sanctum, your kind of precious space, I suppose. And then backdrop is a locale. Right, that's where you are at the backdrop, the locale. And then to extract is to glean information. There we go. And full Monty. There we go. And then finally, yeah, so what are you going to do about it? Okay. And that's it. Started off strong with this puzzle, then really hit a wall, moved very slowly, and then finally picked up at the very end again. So yeah, tough one at parts today. But it's funny because when I started, I really thought I was on the wavelength of this constructor, and I was kind of flying through it early on until I started hitting that resistance. So let's look at our fun theme. Here we go. Funny business. It's kind of exactly the sort of thing I was thinking it would be based on the title. First, I founded an aerospace startup, but I never got it off the ground. When that fell through, I tried my hand at fishmongering, but we didn't scale well. Next, I pivoted into breakfast restaurants, but competitors poached our employees. When I tried candle making, all my workers suffered from burnout. I decided to try operating an airport, but just before launch, we ran out of runway. Finally, I decided to buy a grocery store on an intersection, but a rival had cornered the market. So no happy ending for this failed serial entrepreneur, for whom absolutely nothing has worked out. At the end of our fairly shaggy story about opening a number of failed businesses. And there we go. That was The Funny Business by John Westwig. I enjoyed that. I wish I hadn't gotten quite so stuck in the middle there, but so it goes. It's a Sunday puzzle, and they do seem to end up taking about this long, almost regardless of how I feel they're going to go at the beginning. So there we go. That was that. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with the Monday crossword, a much smaller, faster, gentler, and still themed puzzle to kick off the starting week. So join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.